It's time for another episode of the All Things TechIE podcast where we're talking about kiss cams, data protection, age verification and IBC 2025, all on this episode of the All Things TechIE podcast.
Here's the show that loves to talk about gadgets and gizmos, from A-Logic to Yamaha, cameras to control panels. You get what I mean. We love talking all things techie. In fact, that's the name of the show. And here is your host, Justin Dawson.
Another interesting topic that we're going to discuss on All Things Techie podcast this week is digital content and age verification. How is age verification going to work on the internet? Are we ever going to get to the stage where age verification works correctly? We're diving deep into the topic that has been making headlines across England especially, age verification for adult websites and the monumental task of keeping children safe online. With new rules coming into play in the UK, everyone's asking, will it actually work, and what about our data? So let's set the stage again. The Online Safety Act in the UK is prompting a significant shift in how people in the UK access pornographic material online. Major adult websites, including Pornhub, have confirmed they will introduce an advanced age checks by July the 25th, which is literally a week's time, to make it harder for underage teens to see explicit material. This comes as the media regulator Ofcom estimates 14 million people in the UK watch online pornography, raising significant concerns about the privacy and security implications of more robust identity checks. So how exactly are these websites planning to verify age? Ofcom has recommended 7 distinct methods, giving websites a range of options, sometimes even allowing a combination to offer users choice. So let's break them down. You can use a credit card age check. You provide your credit card details and a payment processor validates the card. Verify My, an age verification firm, states it involves 2-factor authentication check and a mini transaction with no money exchange, similar to that of checking into a hotel. Well, if you're going to cut out under 18s, that could work, I would imagine. Unless kids have like online banking cards that their parents top up, which is technically a Visa card or MasterCard. I'm not too sure about that. If you know the answer, please get in contact with the program. Privacy issues. Verify My's COO Andy Lullum emphasised that no personal data gets passed onto an adult platform in any way. It's simply a yes or no as to answering a question. Is this individual over 18? And that's what they're trying to establish. However, the Five Rights Foundation, an online child safety charity, warns that while these checks offer high levels of assurance when data is being protected, they carry significant privacy risks if not designed and is managed appropriately. Chelsea Jarvie, a cybersecurity expert, also views credit card checks as highly intrusive and outdated. Maybe so. Let us know. Digital identity service, how this works. These services are digitally identity wallets to securely store and share information that proves you're of age. For example, Yachty's chief product engineer, Amari Rodney, explained that once a document like a passport is verified, all parts of it are separated and encrypted, and only the individual can decrypt it. CDD, another firm, noted that users can choose to only share the fact if they are over 18. Despite security measures, Ms. Jarvie believes a digital wallet alongside opening banking can feel disproportionate as a method to prove age. Like, do you really want to load up your passport online? Even though they say it's encrypted and it can be decrypted and so forth. Do you want to load up your credit card in this type of way to prove that you're 18? Will people actually do this? So another way is email-based estimation. You provide your email address and technology analyzes its use on other online services like banking or utility providers to estimate your age. Verify My research indicates this method is the one users most comfortable with. But sometimes you could have an old email address, and our email addresses already being set up for minors, saying state your age, and people are already putting they're over 18. And the answer is, I can guarantee you, yes, is the case. Like, you're setting up, let's say, your son or daughter's Xbox or console. Have you actually said that your child is over 18 just so you can stop with all the extra questions that come with it? I'm sure there's parents that do that. You might say, Justin, you're overreaching there, but I'm sure that actually happens. Privacy issues with email verification. Verify stated that this data could be kept for up to 28 days, though often less, and would be encrypted, and no data would be shared with the assessed website. I don't think people want to share their email address, but I'm sure it will be the most common way of doing it. Facial age estimation is another way of recognizing if a person's over 18 or not. You show your face via photo or video, and technology, often an AI model used by Yachty, it analyzes it to estimate your age. The system typically checks for a human, one person, or not a picture. And I have the feeling that facial age estimation will be cracked with people using the likes of AI to crack it. Mobile network operator age check. You give permission for your age check service to confirm the age filters are applied to your mobile number. I cannot see this working because parents buy SIM cards and set up their son or daughter's phone, and that is where mobile network operator age checks. If it's under a family SIM card, I don't believe this will work. Prove me wrong, people. Prove me wrong. The pay-as-you-go numbers wouldn't be compatible is the cons and the privacy issues there. Right. Open banking. How this works. You give permission for the age check service to securely access information from your bank confirming you are over 18. That may work. Photo ID matching. How this works. You upload an image of an ID document. It's similar to a passport, and it's simultaneous image of yourself. These are compared to confirm the document belongs to you. Similar to passport controls. I don't know, will that work? So with all these methods, the crucial question remains, will age verification actually work to keep children safe online? The goal, as stated in the Online Safety Act of the UK Act, is to make it harder for under 18s to see explicit material. Explicit material is the internet. Look, you're talking about all the social media sites where you're talking about TikTok to YouTube to anything in between of social media, Twitter, X, whatever. They are seeing explicit material. It is so out there that can an age verification check actually pull this all back and together? I don't think so. I think it's a big mammoth task to pull it back. However, cybersecurity expert Chelsea Jarvey raises a broader concern, warning that society needs to be cautious about normalizing mass identification online. Her discomfort, and that of many others in her research, with methods like facial age estimation, will view that digital wallets, open banking, credit card, and photo ID checks can feel disproportionate, outdated, or highly intrusive, point to significant public acceptance hurdles. While email-based estimation is seen as one much more comfortable by users, the resilience on external data points might also raise eyebrows for some. The implementation of age verification is like trying to use a master key system in a vast, sprawling city. While each lock is designed to keep out unauthorized users, the sheer number of keys and locks and the different methods of authentication creates a complex landscape where the goal is to deter and restrict rather to seal and truly impossible task in the digital realm. If you'd like to get in contact with the program, you can do so. The details are on the bottom of the screen if you're watching us online, whether it's on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or wherever you like to watch the All Things TechIE podcast. We're also across all your audio podcasting platforms, Spotify and Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, etc. You can find all our podcast episodes at www.allthingstech.ie. But if you'd like to get in contact with the program, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, and all the details is available on our official website, www.allthingstech.ie. WeTransfer has got themselves into a lot of trouble in the past week or two. And if you don't know what WeTransfer is, it is a way of transferring large amount of files instead of putting them into Google Drive and sharing them, or using Dropbox, for example. Well, WeTransfer has confirmed it does not use files uploaded to their service to train AI models. The file sharing company had received lots of criticism from customers on social media after changing its terms of service, which some interpreted as allowing it the right to use files for AI training. Now, I am going to put up over my shoulder some of the terms of service that WeTransfer used to use. A WeTransfer spokesperson spoke out and said, "We don't use machine learning or any form of AI to process content shared via WeTransfer, nor do we sell content to data to any third parties." The firm has now updated its term, saying it has made the language easier to understand to avoid confusion. WeTransfer said the clause was initially added to include the possibility of using AI to improve content moderation and to identify harmful content. The terms had said WeTransfer could use content for the purposes in the past of including to improve performance of machine learning models that enhance our content moderation process. It has also included the right for WeTransfer to reproduce, distribute, modify, or publicly display files uploaded to the service. Some users on social media interpreted this as WeTransfer giving itself the right to share or sell the files uploaded by users to AI companies. People working in the creative industries, including an illustrator or an actor, posted on X, formerly Twitter, to say that they use the service and send work and were considering to change to alternative providers. WeTransfer said it updated the clause Tuesday, as we have seen the passage may have caused confusion for its customers. God only knows how many customers they lost. The clause in 6.3 in the Terms of Service now says, "You hereby grant us royalty-free license to use your content for the purposes of operating, developing and improving this service in accordance with our privacy and cookie policy." These changes come into effect on the 8th of August for existing users.
Attention all Irish audiovisual professionals. Are you ready to take your career to the next level? Look no further than AV Groupie, Ireland's ultimate online hub for audiovisual networking. Join a vibrant community of AV experts where you can connect, collaborate and create magic together, all from the comfort of your device. Whether you're a lighting wizard, a sound maestro, a visual effects guru or any AV enthusiast, AV Groupie is the place to be. Post your portfolio, exchange ideas, find exciting opportunities and stay updated with the latest industry trends. The power of networking is just a click away. AV Groupie, the network for Irish AV professionals. Visit avgroup.ie.
Now, is your phone listening to you? Or is your device listening to you? We've all been there, right? You're talking about something with a friend, maybe a new gadget, a holiday destination, or even what you just had for dinner, and then boom, an ad exactly that for that pops up on your phone. It leaves you with that creepy feeling like your phone is literally listening to you. Well, today we're diving into that deep and very common suspicion, and thanks to some fascinating new research that came out with an El Paz article, we are uncovering what's really going on. Is your phone listening, or is it something entirely else at play?
I'm not a conspiracy, no. Tinfoil out in the basement.
Many of us have felt it. You mentioned saying oat milk at a supermarket and suddenly you're seeing ads for vegan products. These aren't isolated incidents. In fact, one of the co-authors in a recent study, Juan Tapitor, a professor at Carlos III University in Madrid, shared anecdotes like these, noting that it's reasonable for an average citizen to feel suspicious about receiving very subtle advertising based on intimate details without knowing the origin. But here's the kicker, And it might surprise you, the sources suggest your phone doesn't necessarily need to be listening to know these things. While it feels like a microphone is constantly on, the reality is far more subtle and in some ways more pervasive. The truth, according to the Spanish researchers' findings were presented at the prestigious Pets Privacy Conference, points to something more sophisticated: the precise geolocation via your phone's Bluetooth and Wi-Fi capabilities. This isn't about your GPS, we're talking about how your phone detects nearby Wi-Fi antennas and Bluetooth beacons.
You'll hear the word conspiracy theory bandied about.
There are actually public databases listing the GPS coordinates of these very beacons and antennas. So if your phone detects one, it's a dead giveaway that the owner has been there. It's not very complex, technically, but the information is gathered and is used to where things get murky. Consider this anecdote from 2023. An engineer at an amusement park had his family skip lines because the park's app detected someone waiting by the stroller. This was thanks to geolocation via Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. This simply scenario illustrates the power of this technology. The hidden ecosystem of data extraction is buried in thousands of apps, all designed to target you with ads, build detailed profiles about you, or simply know your whereabouts at all times. It goes beyond just knowing you're at Burger King and offering you a deal. That's one thing that is given at their app permission. The real concern is thousands of other apps containing these pieces of code that capture this information and send it to unknown marketing companies that traffic in your data. So how does this all happen? Apps aren't typically built from scratch. They use prefabricated tools called software development kits or SDKs. But think of them like ready-made building blocks. These SDKs perform functions the app needs, but they can also have hidden capabilities. Narcio Valina, a co-author of the paper, explained this in an SDK ecosystem that no one else has studied in its specific context. The research empirically looked at SDKs as advertised themselves as location services providing Bluetooth and Wi-Fi functionalities. The findings are astounding. Researchers identified 52 SDKs with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth scanning features integrated into at least 9,976 apps, just short of 10,000 apps. These apps were estimated to be cumulative install count of the 55 billion devices historically. We're talking about apps across the spectrum, from banks to sports clubs, hotels, academic centres and media outlets. The problem isn't necessarily your dating app knowing where you are because you gave it permission. It's a third-party SDK installed within that dating app or any other app that collects the sensitive information. For example, you could install a dating app, give it a Wi-Fi access, and it could scan nearby Bluetooth devices at a hotspot. This could reveal who your date is and where you are, all thanks to hidden SDK.
Okay, time to get you on a dating app.
Why is this location data so incredibly valuable? One Tapador put it plainly: if you're a company that thrives on tracking could only choose one piece of information about you, they would probably say location. Location reveals a huge amount about your tastes and your habits. Well, that's quite true. It can confirm where you buy oat or cow's milk, whether you linger in a cheap clothing store or prefer specific genres at a bookstore. It's not just for ads. This data can reveal sensitive moments, whether you enter a mosque or a sauna, the speed of your vehicle, or even the location of an undocumented immigrant. Data merchants can even sell information about who was on Jeffrey Epstein's island. Even on a subway, a Bluetooth beacon might count passengers, but an SDK in an app could precisely know you are on that subway, allowing for re-identification. This method is designed to obtain your location, which is incredibly valuable, while avoiding the entire process of obtaining your explicit consent for the specific use by unknown third parties. Your data is often associated with your Android Advertising ID, your AAID, a unique marker that identifies you and your device, suggesting that it is used to track you, build profiles, and send you targeted communications. The challenge for researchers is figuring out exactly where this data ends up and how it's ultimately used. Knowing that what data an SDK extracts is one thing, but tracing its subsequent processing is much harder. So the next time you feel like your phone is listening, remember, while it may not be actively eavesdropping on conversations, it's very likely collecting incredibly precise location data through your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth thanks to its complex hidden ecosystem of SDKs. It's like someone overhearing your whispers, a more detective meticulously mapping your every step, every lingering gasp, every purchase, and then selling that detailed map to advertisers and other interested parties. This isn't about privacy, or is it? It's about understanding the subtle yet powerful ways our digital lives are being tracked and profiled. The rumours are true. The eagerly anticipated Google product launch event will happen on August the 20th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 6 p.m. In Ireland, and it looks like to be a product-packed event. It's the summer of fresh Android, and Google is just a little more than a month after Samsung unpacked its Android 16 foldables, revealing a host of new Pixel gadgets, including new phones, new watches, and yes, new earbuds. This could be a very big year for the Pixel lineup. We're expecting not just only the Pixel 10 phone line, but the new Pixel 10 Pro Fold, that's not easy to say, which has now been a tough act to follow given the 4.2mm thick Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. At least they will be running on Android 16. As for the Pixel 10 phones, a steady stream of rumours have been painted a fairly clear picture on the new handsets. The phones will be likely to stick close to those last year's more significant redesign, but refinements that make the phone look more polished. Screen technology could undergo an upgrade, and there are rumours that photography, especially macro photography, could also improve. All handsets are expected to run Google's Tensor 5 chip. Google has yet to outclass Apple or Qualcomm in the SoC race. Maybe next year will be different. The model lineup should stick close to what we had in 2024 and include Pixel 10, Pixel 10 Pro, Pixel 10 Pro XL, and Pixel 10 Pro Fold. Again, a lot of pixels there.
I want to specifically ask you about an application you have in for a drone base in Dundrum, and that's adjacent to Holy Cross Church. And in the absence of planning, it's up to you to decide where is a good base in the absence of all this regulation. So do you really think it's appropriate to try and place a base right next to a church where you're going to have bridal parties arriving with buzzing drones and you're going to have funerals leaving with buzzing drones? In addition, in that area, there's an outdoor ice rink in the winter months, and during the summer months, then we have the Dundrum Street Festival.
Now, on the All Things TechIE podcast, more than 100 observations have been lodged over plans of a new food delivery hub for drones in Dublin, with the majority of them being objections. This drone company has been around for some time, and politicians and residents associations are among the more than 110 objections received by proposed hub in Dundrum on Dublin's south side. What we're talking about is Mana Drones, and plans were lodged by Irish startup Mana Drones Limited for lands at an existing car park to the site to the rear of the main street and the rear of Holy Cross Church in Dundrum. Now, if you do know the south side of Dundrum, you do have the old Dundrum shopping centre, which has Lidl and a couple of other shops, and way back when they were planning on doing the whole Dundrum town centre, that was supposed to stretch all the way down that hill. So I'm imagining that that's give or take where it's going to be. It also, like, there's a car park sort of in the middle of this hill, and that has been used for a community area. I'm not too sure is this where Mana's planning to set up. Mana already operates 2 drone delivery hubs, one in Blanchardstown and one near the Junction 6 on the M50. The company has plans lined to expand to Tala and to Glasnevin. There's been over 100 complaints made to the company from those living in the area it already operates in. It also operates in Balbriggan, North County Dublin, close to where I live.
Without joking, my mother lives in Kilmacud and she's dying to get the service. She's 88 years old and she's going to be the biggest customer of ours. But humour aside, I'm from that area. We'll reach my house with the service. I know a lot of people in the area, businesses as well. It's there's a lot of pent up demand for the service. So we've wanted to come to Dundrum for a long time. The choice of location is primarily around the businesses that are there. We have, as a simple principle, we never fly over large bodies of people. So, for example, when the ice rink is there, we won't be operating. When there's a wedding or a funeral going on, we won't be operating, or we'll fly away from it. We're well aware of that, and we have a process of being aware of events or public bodies of people that we won't fly over them.
Mana CEO Bobby Healy has previously said the company is listening to complaints and is investing in tech to make its drones, which were used to deliver products and takeaway food, emit less noise when in use. Appearing before the Oireachtas Committee earlier this year, Healy said that the drone deliveries are more sustainable and remove traffic congestion from roads.
Hello, I'm Seamus Doyle and I live in Dublin 15. We've had drones flying over now for around 12 months. Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, in the afternoons. They're just constantly going over. It sounds like a motorbike going through your back garden.
Fianna Fáil TD Shay Brennan is among the objectors to the Dundrum hub. In his observation, he noticed that the idea of drones passing overhead daily has generated anxiety in the locality. He also points out that there is currently no national policy or local planning framework to address the challenges posed by drone operations in urban and suburban settings. He called for community impact assessment, robust noise studies and strict conditions on operational hours and flight frequency, and to defer approval until a community centre framework is in place. In Mana's application, it proposes that the drones will be used to improve food delivery services in the Dundrum area. One objector says that this is not a good use of modern technology and questions why one use is listed. Another who also raised the same point noted Dundrum already has ample food delivery services, making this proposal unnecessary and potentially harmful. Now, you do have like the Lewis and everything around Dundrum. There's plenty of areas to eat and dine in Dundrum Town Centre. I rented an apartment way back when in Dundrum. You could step off the Lewis and you could literally be in Dundrum Town Centre and get food. It's not far to walk. It's literally a hill. It's a small little village. Does it need drone delivery services like this? Or even the outskirts of Dundrum? I don't think so. It is easy. Like, yes, some of the roads get busy. There's one-way systems as well in Dundrum. But like, the whole experience is supposed to be pedestrianised so you can go to the likes of Dundrum Town Centre. I also question the fact of there is nearby hospitals in Dundrum, Churchtown area. You're talking, and not that further away. Vincent's Hospital as well would be nearby as well. So how are drones going to be able to operate around this suburb? And the noise quality. The noise quality in a very congested area of apartment blocks and houses. I don't think it's going to work, and I don't think this is going to get the approval, but I stand corrected. I have asked in the past for Bobby Healy to appear on to discuss about drones and Mana, and he told me he's too busy. So not for this time, but in previous times I've asked would he like to explain how Mana worked, and he has ignored this podcast. So we have talked about drones in the past on All Things TechIE podcast. There has been drone delivery services tested even with Google or Alphabet here in Lusk, And of course, Mana works out of Balbriggan as well and delivers. But if you are living in any of those areas and you find them good or bad, let us know. Get in touch with the All Things Techie podcast. We're on all the networks for podcasting. We're on YouTube. You can be watching us on Instagram, LinkedIn, and loads of other places. And all our previous episodes of the All Things Techie podcast is available online at www.allthingstech.ie.
We still have to discuss the drones.
Yeah, the drones.
Now, listeners and viewers, I'm delighted to say in the not-so-distant future, September, I will be attending IBC in Amsterdam. I'm returning to the RAI, which I haven't been in since Integrated Systems Europe, ISE, was in the RAI. And that Tetris building. Wow, that Tetris building. If you're wondering why IBC is the event that you should be attending in September, well, let's unpack IBC and why it is the essential destination for innovation, knowledge, and unparalleled networking. The global media and entertainment industry is undergoing profound change, and IBC 2025 is where the future is not just discussed, but actively defined and actioned. It's a dynamic 4-day exhibition and 3-day conference bring together the creative, technology, and business communities. One of the most compelling reasons to attend International Broadcasting Convention 2025 or IBC 2025 is to witness the cutting edge of media technology firsthand. The event is set to drive global media transformation with a sharpened focus on transformative technology and real-world application. You'll explore pioneering advances in critical areas such as AI, 5G, immersive tech, dynamic and ad insertion, cloud-native workflows, virtual production, and sustainable production. Just a couple of different areas. A major highlight is Future Tech, a brand new dynamic hub located in Hall 14. This dedicated space is designed for trailblazers and tech enthusiasts, offering a curated blend of visionary showcases, hands-on demos, and thought leadership. Here you will see how AI is moving from conceptual ideas to practical applications in areas like live production, automation, and generative content tools. You can also delve into the virtual world of LED backdrops, augmented reality, and real-time VFX.
Let's be honest. We don't know what tomorrow will bring. In a rapidly evolving industry, we talk about change. But what does it mean? What does it look like? How does it sound? The future isn't just happening. We create it. Innovation is at the heart of what we do. We're not here to witness change. We're here to drive it. In a world craving for connection, the stories we tell today will shape the world of tomorrow. Because as an industry, we know our purpose: to inspire audiences, to amaze them, to drive business, to instigate change, to bring people together. This is where imagination sparks impact. Together we navigate the path while we create it and redefine what's possible, to connect and to explore. See you at IBC 2025. Redefining media.
I am so looking forward to going over to be like a kid in a candy shop at IBC, where I'd be putting on my old media hat because 20 plus years in media and also my master's degree in TV and radio production, and going to somewhere like IBC where you're just seeing the tech, you're unfolding how things are made, whether it be documentaries, whether it be film sets, you name it, the technology involved. What is the future in broadcast? It's going to be a really exciting show. And I'll be there. I'll be doing some live shows. I'll be doing some podcasting. I'll be showing you the booth floor across all these trade show floors. There's so many of them. There's 13 or 14 of them. And I'll be doing some pre-shows as well for IBC too. So if you are attending IBC and you're looking at the All Things Techie podcast right now, you can get in contact with the details on the bottom of the screen. We're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, and all the details is available on our official website, www.allthingstech.ie. You can find me on YouTube, Justin_or_Dawson, Instagram, Justin_or_Dawson. You can visit my official website, my own website, at www.justinordawson.com. Well, today we're diving into a story that has been splashed around headlines and social media feeds, leaving us all wondering about privacy, public exposure, and what happens when a private moment goes spectacularly viral.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
We're talking, of course, about the Andy Bryan, the former CEO of Astronomer, and his now infamous Coldplay concert experience.
We are so dead.
This isn't about tech CEO losing his job. It's a fascinating case study in how fast information spreads online and the power of crowdsourced identification and the very blurry lines between our personal and professional lives in the age of constant surveillance. Let's break it down on how this unfolded. It started off at a Coldplay concert in Foxborough, Massachusetts. For those unfamiliar with concerts, often feature a kiss cam, a camera that will spotlight couples in the audience, encouraging them to, well, share a kiss. On this particular Wednesday night, the camera landed on a man and a woman embracing and swaying to the music. What seemed like an innocent, romantic moment quickly turned, well, awkward.
Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
The pair abruptly ducked and hid from the camera when they realised that they were on a big screen. This immediate, seemingly mortified reaction was enough to catch the attention of Coldplay's lead singer Chris Martin, who commented to the crowd, either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. He also added, I hope I didn't do something bad. The crowd gasped and cheered at the couple's mysterious behaviour. That one comment, combined with a pair's visible discomfort, sealed its fate. The video, originally uploaded on TikTok, rapidly gained millions of views, exceeding 23 million on one platform alone, and spread like wildfire across social media. Perhaps the most striking aspects of the incident is how quickly Andy Bryan and Chris Cabot were identified online.
How long is this going to take?
Oh, it's only searching through the whole damn internet.
Here's how the internet's social media sleuths got into the work. Visual cues. Viewers began meticulously analysing the footage for any distinguishing features or context. They then sourced company websites, particularly for tech firms, and public LinkedIn profiles, matching appearances and job titles to the infame individuals in the video. It didn't take long before a man was widely identified in the US media as Andy Bryan, the married CEO of Astronomer, and the woman as Kristen Cabot, the firm's chief people officer HR department or human resources head. Neither Bryan nor Cabot had publicly commented on the video at the time it went viral. Bryan is married with 2 kids. Cabot is divorced, though it's unclear if she has remarried. Bryan and Cabot started working together in November, with Bryan purposely raving about Cabot's exceptional leadership in the company press release. Astronomer is an AI and data company valued at $1.2 million. This rapid identification highlights a crucial point in our hyper-connected world. Privacy in a public setting is increasingly tenuous. While attending a concert doesn't come with a literal disclaimer that you will be filmed and broadcast, the reality is that cameras are ambiguous and moments caught on screen, especially if they're perceived as unusual or scandalous, can very quickly become public spectacles. This incident serves as a stark example of online surveillance and public shaming, sparking debate about the ethics of exposing private lives on social media platforms. The ripple effects for Andy Bryan were swift and severe. The company Action Well Astronomer initially launched an investigation and placed Bryan on leave shortly after the video went viral. Days later, the company announced that Andy Bryan had tendered his resignation and the board of directors have accepted. Astronomers stated that their leaders are expected to set the standard in both conduct and accountability, and recently the standards were not met. Really? They emphasised their commitment to the values and culture that have guided us since our founding. In their quote, the New York-based firm appointed Chief Product Officer as interim CEO and began a search for Bryan's permanent replacement. As for the wife, or Andy Bryan's ex-wife maybe, Andy Bryan's wife, Megan Kerrigan Bryan, described as a successful educator in Massachusetts and mother of their 2 children, reportedly removed her husband's surname from the Facebook profile and later deactivated her account entirely after the video went viral. This fueled widespread speculation about divorce.
If you had any money, I'd divorce you right now and take it all.
Of course, netizens or citizens of the internet offered to support Meghan during this difficult time. Adding to the chaos, a fake statement supposedly from Bryan circulated widely. This apparent fake statement read, "I want to acknowledge the moment that has been circulating online and the disappointment it caused. I also express how troubling it is that what should have been a private moment became public without my consent. I respect artists and entertainers, but I hope we can think more deeply about the impact of turning someone else's life into a spectacle." Astronomers Taylor Jones quickly debunked this, stating this is not a real statement. So, listeners and viewers of the All Things Techie podcast, did Andy deserve the treatment he got? This is where the conversation gets complex. The sources highlight that the company's decision stemmed from the perceived failure to meet leadership standards of conduct and accountability. From a corporate standpoint, an alleged affair with a co-worker, especially a chief people officer, could raise significant ethical and professional concerns regarding workplace boundaries and potential conflicts of interest. However, the rapid spread and the intense public scrutiny fueled by Chris Martin's comment and social media's insatiable appetite for drama certainly escalated the situation beyond a private HR matter. The online world made a private moment public without consent, as the fake statement aptly put it. Whether it's such a private lapse, if confirmed, merits the level of public shaming and career termination is a matter of ongoing debate about the evolving standards of public morality and the corporate responsibility in the digital age. The sources underscore how quickly simply a kiss cam clip led to nationwide speculation and real-world identification, potentially damaging reputations.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair.
There's been several memes and humours about this whole incident. Is this right? I don't know, but like, you can see some of these clips if you're watching on YouTube, and even to the stage where there has been coders that have created little video games where you can find Andy Bryan embracing with this affair. Is this right? Is this a lot of time on your hands? Yes, it is. People with a lot of time on their hands. But it has gone absolutely viral in the past 48, 72 hours. Beyond the serious implications of the scandal quickly spawns a wave of jokes and memes. Social media has had an absolute field day with the incident. Fans online trolled Coldplay not for including the viral moment in their post-concert recap, quipping, "Nice, did anything else happen?" and joking that Chris Martin did the Lord's work in exposing that affair. Some even insisted that the cameraman deserved a raise for catching the moment. Imagine being the cameraman who did this. Wow, 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 wow. You know, that's one thing to put on a resume or a CV. Perhaps the humorous outcome was the rise of the other Andy Bryan. A motion graphics designer named Andy Bryan cleverly leveraged the situation by adding a line to his LinkedIn profile, not the guy from the Coldplay gig. He publicly stated, "I'm Andy Bryan, who makes videos for big screens, not the one who gets caught on them. If you want to make a video content that goes viral for the right reasons, let's connect." This ingenious marketing move went viral on LinkedIn with over 12,000 likes, generating so much free exposure and winning him praise as the Andy Bryan every wife deserves. He even quipped that he won LinkedIn and his wife would be relieved that he's not cheating on her. So what began as a cringe-worthy moment at a concert quickly spiraled into a cautionary tale about transparency, accountability, and the unforgiving gaze of the internet. It's a reminder that our increasingly interconnected world, our lives are often played out on the public stage, whether we intend them to be or not. If the world has become one giant, perpetually on-kiss cam, at any moment, public or seemingly private, can become the next viral spectacle. Let us know what you think. Get in touch with the All Things Techie podcast. If you're watching online, the details are on the bottom of the screen. You can find me on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Instagram, and on TikTok. Instagram at Justin_or_Dawson. On YouTube at Justin_Dawson _or_Dawson again. All my personal page is www.justinoradawson.com, or you can find all this and previous episodes of the All Things Techie podcast at www.allthingstech.ie. Now, that's all I had time for in this episode of the All Things Techie podcast. Really want to thank you for tuning in, and whether you're viewing or you are listening to the audio podcast. Don't forget you can find all episodes of the All Things Techie podcast on our official website, www.allthingstech.ie. A new theme to my personal brand is, of course, Pharaoh the dog, because my son has an autism assistant dog, and I am asking you to please go over to Pharaoh the dog, FAROTHEDOG.com, and you will be able to see the life and journals and adventures of Pharaoh, our assistant dog from Autism Assistant Dogs Ireland. And thanks to those who have gone onto the website and are also pledging and donating. All the money, 100% of the money, is going to AADI, Autism Assistance Dogs Ireland. I hope, with my family, to raise the €25,000 that it costs to train one of these dogs over the 2-year period. And you can help as well by getting involved and visiting pharaohthedog.com. From me, Justin Dawson, thanks for tuning in to the All Things Techie podcast. We'll see you at the next episode. Goodbye.
I felt like 3 minutes.
How do you feel?
I don't know. I don't really remember anything. How'd I do?
I think you might be more open to suggestibility than you imagined.
Thank you for tuning in to All Things Techie podcast, part of the Extreme Media Network. Follow us on Twitter at AVTechJunkies. Subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also watch our show on YouTube by visiting youtube.com/@Justin_or_Dawson. Previous episodes of our show can be found on our official site, www.allthingstech.ie. For advertising and sponsorship opportunities, please visit www.extrememedia.ie.